Hello, welcome back. Newts again. This is episode 2 of the series that I said we was doing about how to start up an eSports organisation. In this episode we're going to talk about branding, we're going to go into logos, a couple of examples of what I feel is a good logo. We're going to talk a little bit about social media branding, then we're going to talk about a couple of designers in an org, working with designers in general, because they'll be a big part of what you're going to do. And I'll put a couple of links down the bottom of people that we've used. They're not paid me to put them there or anything like that. This isn't sponsored by them. This is just people that we've used in the past, because I don't really want to see people get ripped off, because there's a lot of that goes on, especially when you're starting out and you don't know. You get a lot of people trying to copy other people's logos. You get a lot of people, you know what I mean, oh, it's going to cost you $5. There's a reason why a logo is going to cost you $5, you know what I mean. It isn't going to be something that's solely yours, or it generally isn't going to be that great. So like I said, links that in the bottom, people that we've used, people that I think you can trust. Use them, don't use them, it's down to you, do whatever you want to know. Right, so let's start off talking about logos. What I'm going to do is give a couple examples of what I think it makes up a good logo and why. So first we've got the Lightning Pandas one. As you can see, the panda with the lightning bolt, it looks good, you know what I mean. For a start, it's appealing, it's individual. No one else has got something like that, you know what I mean. If you see that, you know it belongs to. And that's a good thing about a logo. You want it to stand out, you want it to be individual. When people see that, if it ain't got the wording with it, you know what that's for. And that to me is the purpose of a logo, and you know what I mean, the sign of a good logo. So they had this, they also had their really bright coloured shirts and everything like that, which made them stand out. And it's fun, you know what I mean. People want to like that. People are going to like that because it's a quality design, and you know what I mean, it's a bit of fun. And it goes with the name. Next one, we've got Bittersweet. Now, these again, great name. The logo, it's a quality logo. It goes along with what it is. It's got the gaming side to it and all that as well with the guns. I think it's a bit of genius, you know what I mean. To be honest, I wish I'd have thought of it. Love it, and you know what I mean. If their teams took off, you could see people proper buying into this, you know what I mean. And again, to me, that's what it should be about. You want something that's individual, that people will want to get behind, you know what I mean? You could see kids with bags with that on at school and stuff like that. Well, I can anyway. Shouldn't be seeing kids. But, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think genius. That's the sort of thing you want to be aiming at. You don't want Spartan helmets and Spartans and that. And if anyone's got one, that's fine. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking anymore. I'm protecting you, yeah? So, yeah, like, just have a bit of fun with it. Think about it and get someone decent to do it. Someone that you've seen their works recommended. If you're looking at someone on Twitter and they're like, look, this is previous work I've done, do yourself a favour and reverse search it on Google to check that it's not someone else's design. Or, what I know has happened to people, they've took like a standard stock design, copied over it and just sort of changed it slightly. And you don't want that, especially if you're paying money for it. You want something that's designed solely for you. So try to use someone that's either recommended to you, you trust, or you've spoken to. Because it's going to be a big investment, and it's something that's going to be with you for the life of the org, you know what I mean, unless you decide to have a 2.0 and change everything, which some people do, but it's a lot cheaper to get it right in the first place, which is why I'm giving you this advice, than changing it halfway through and having to change everything that goes with it. So our one was done by Creative Grenade and Strats. I'll put his details down the bottom. Probably more the high end. So it costs a couple of quid, so before you message him, if you haven't got a few $100s to spare, then don't waste his time, you know what I mean. But there is cheaper alternatives down the bottom that are equally good, you know what I mean, and will do just as good a job. So yeah, hit them up, or you know what I mean, find someone yourself. Just if you've got a mate that'll do it for a $5, there's a reason why someone's doing a design for a $5, especially if it's a mascot logo, and it's generally not usually a good reason. Right, so once you've done that, then you're going to have to start with your social media branding, because you've already gone back, you've got your name, you secured your Twitter, your YouTube, your Facebooks, your Instagrams and all that. So now you're going to need to put your headers on and everything like that, and put your logo on there. Remember that your social media is your your social media is your shop front, right? So this is where you sell yourself. So don't just whack something on, like if you don't usually use Photoshop, now's not the time to start. Right? Get someone that does to do it. So there's some designers down the bottom. They're ones that we use and trust. Varying prices again. it's worth it. If you can't afford to pay a couple of quid to get a decent header made, and you're going to try to do it yourself on Paint or something like that, then eSports organisation owning is not the place for you, because it does cost money. And like I said, don't think you're going to wait for a sponsor to pay, because it's not going to happen. And don't pester designers saying, do you want to sponsor my org and make me something for free? They're trying to make the crust as well, so a lot of them ain't going to want to do it, and the ones that do want to do it probably ain't the ones you want doing it if you want to make this serious, you know what I mean? So spend a couple of quid, get someone that's half decent, links are down below, and it'll be a lot more worthwhile, and you'll see greater success. It's a case of faking it till you make it, you know what I mean? You want to come across as professional, you know what I mean? And the first way you can do that is by having a decent header that matches everything, it goes along with your logo, and if you get the right people to do it, they'll make it look good. Speaking of that, about that, when you do this, you're going to then have to talk to designers. Right, so starting off, you're probably not going to have designers in your organisation, because I don't tweet out, we need designers to come join us because you want free work, because that isn't fair on no one. Designers shouldn't work for free. So you're going to have to work with them. Right, I'm not saying that this is any of the ones below or not, but you need to remember, designers can be temperamental people, right? Please don't hate me, designers, it's not all of yous, but some of them are not the easiest people in the world to work with, right? A designer is like a builder. If he says it's going to take a day, it's probably going to take a week 9 times out of 10. Right? Their time scales are totally different. If you're stressing too much, it doesn't hurry them up. And to be honest, are you going to want them to rush the work that you're paying for? So you sort of need to give them their time and space. And you just got to get used to it. Right? It's one of those things. They're not all like it, but some really ain't the easiest people in the world to work with. What you also need to pay attention to, they're not like normal businesses. Whereas if you pay for something, it's yours, you don't, you know what I mean, do nothing else with it. With a designer, although you're paying them to do it, they then want you to tweet out that they've done it as well. Because it helps them. And to be fair, it'll get you more credit as well, because they'll retweet it, they're bigger than you, so you're the one that's probably going to benefit out of it the most anyway. So just don't forget that. When you do put it out there, do a little thank you thing. It's nice anyway. And don't slag them off. Right, if you're having trouble with them, there's no point in going through that hassle of tweeting stuff out. Just to, you know what I mean, talk to them privately and get it done. Because at the end of the day, you do need them. They need orgs as well, because obviously it gives them the business, but it's the way to go. And don't go out, right? So before I'd done this, I used to, I ain't going to say what my name was, I had my own little gaming name, and I tried to have a channel. And I went and paid someone outside of eSports to do me some headers and all that. It was more expensive than what the eSports one do, and he didn't actually understand what it was. I wanted to try to keep explaining it to him. So it's 9 times out of 10, it's better to use people inside the industry, the designers that already know the style you're going to want to look for. You don't have to tell them as much information, and it helps. So don't think, right, I'm going to go outside, it'll be a better job. 9 times out of 10, even if it was slightly better, it isn't what you want as much. You know what I mean? It doesn't fit the style as much. So that's working with designers for the first time. Designers in your organisation. As I brushed over, designers don't deserve to work for free. Right, that's standard. Right, there's too many organisations and companies that try to take advantage of that, designers. Like I said, some of them could be a right pain in the backside. Right, some will join your org literally to get retweeted, and within a month doing another org, and a month doing someone else's org, and a month doing someone else's org, and all they're doing is jumping around trying to get more followers to try to make themselves look better, as if followers make them a better designer. Others are not like that, you know what I mean? And some of them are really sound guys. We've got a lad, DC, he sort of come about working for us by mistake. He edited one of our logos a bit, put our names in, people in there for the family, and we've now got him working with us. He's on a monthly salary, because he needed help. Well, it didn't need help, he needed paying, to be honest, because he was working for us, but he was also helping him get a computer. So, you know what I mean? Don't have them working for free. We've had designers here in the past, we've always paid our designers. They don't deserve to work for free. They're putting their time and effort in, and they deserve something back for it. Some of them won't charge the earth neither. Don't think they're gonna, you know what I mean? Just try to give them something for their time, because they're gonna benefit off you. Designers benefit massively off of organisations, more than they probably like to let know, some of them. But at the end of the day, they still deserve paying for the work they do. So make sure you do that. Don't ever have a design team if you're not going to pay them all, because it's not fair, and it shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Just use a designer individually. Don't bring them all on board and then not pay them or stiff them, because it's going to make you look bad. Because 100%, they will tweet it out. Designers love to tweet out things like that. And they should, but I'm saying, like, if you upset them, designers, they will tell everyone. So treat them right, and they will look after you. And like I said, you do need them, and we've always had good. I've always liked to think that our design and our branding that way and our image is sound. We always use Blaze for 90% of our work, or DC. We've used Heather and that in the past. Like I said, their stuff's down there. And we trust them all. Some of them take longer than others. Some of them you have to remind a few times, Blaze. But that's because he's at big organisations, I suppose, and he is salaried with them, so he's got to do their work first. But you just have to bear that in mind. If you want the best, you're going to have to wait a little bit. If you want something done right now, you can probably find someone to do it, but there's a reason why they're not doing work for anyone else. And that's normally not a good sign. So hopefully, that very briefly sums up designers, logos, and things like that. Like I said, I'm not going to go on all day in these videos. If you have got any questions about it, like I said, chuck it at the bottom, and I will answer them. I'm going to just try to brush over the subjects as much as possible. Like I said, give you the links where I can along the way to help you out, and make this a series that doesn't end up bigger than better, you know what I mean? So thank you again for tuning in. Remember to subscribe so you can see the next videos, and thanks a lot for watching. Cheers. Goodbye.